Drive on Lugnutz. Enjoy the show.
Nothing left to do but to crank over those engines, gearheads, because 'tis none other than us, the Lugnutz podcast.
Recorded May 2025. Bronco. One off. Why? Akio Toyota warns us of impending doom. And he's probably right. It's Toyota. And Buick stuff. That and much more. Thank you for joining us.
Enjoy the show. Drive on Lugnutz.
I want you to drive on over here. Facebook.com/Lugnutz podcast. Just like popping over to our website, pjandwh.com. That's where you're going to find all of the latest and greatest podcasts coming from us, like Tales of the Hunted, Sex Ed, and everything in between, and, of course, the Lugnutz podcast. But one thing we don't want you to miss, that's this first story.
2025 Ford Bronco. You're not going to see it in any dealer because this is a one-off. This is just to show you what they can do. They're not going to give it to you, but here's what they can do. They built two models, Bronco's Badlands Showcase 2025. Yeah.
I mean, the red doesn't look bad.
A nod to the Red Rock Arches in the Moab, Utah, and the Arches National Park.
Okay.
So they got that going for them.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the
Never
style
see
of it looks cool, but, to know you can do that to a Bronco is nice.
Described as the ultimate all-around option for taking four friends through the Moab's grueling trail.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, people do actually like the Bronco, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I
it's a
haven't
four-door
heard many
and-
people, but some people do like it.
They do. Some people do. I remember the old ones.
Mm-hmm.
The old ones were
The old ones are awesome.
Uncle Bud would crush cans. I remember one time with and as a 5-year-old, that was the shit.
It was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. Or however, anyway, one's a 4-door. The other is a 2-door.
Nice.
They have a light bar set up in front so they can see everything.
That makes sense.
Dot compliance KDR2. Plus tires found on the first model. Gets the cliffhanger. BF Goodrich Baja tires. They're not going to make it, so, do the details really matter that much? It's nice to look at. Are there photos below?
Oh, I'm already on them.
Great.
There's someone from above.
Wow,
showing,
look at that roof.
The roof there, which, I mean, that's not bad, but, another side look there.
The standard suspension.
Oh, yeah, we do. Look at that inside.
Wow, look at that.
That's not bad.
The standard suspension was ditched for Fox Live valve dampeners, custom fender flares, clay orange wrap with code orange accents.
That's that right there.
Also, paraglyphs found on the Moab area and GPS coordinates to specific trails.
Mm-hmm. That one right there.
That would be that.
Yeah.
It was coming up.
That's kind of
But
cool.
Ford isn't planning on selling them.
Why would you want to sell something that's awesome? Yeah, no, why would you do
want to
that?
put that into production and make monies.
They're giving them the orphans.
Yep.
No
I
orphans.
think they're attached and they're
I
just
tried.
going to keep them.
Pop them in the office building. Why not?
I
Have
don't know.
one to go around the track,
Where do these cars go when they die? I mean, they've taken photos of them on Car and Driver, and now
they go to the Elysian
they
Fields.
Well, we're going to go to the next story. This is a brand new Chevy. Chevy Silverado EV. They all kind of look the same. The front's a little bit different. When it's an EV, they always cover the grill area for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't need it, but
Yeah, but it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Sometimes
it does, in
they
fact,
look really
look
cool. And
Yeah.
some, we had like we drove by a Ford Explorer the other day. The most hideous looking.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Sometimes
Some of
it's
these
an improvement,
EVs,
but
they're really looking more and more insect-like, and you're like, what are you doing with that front end?
So they say General Motors has sorted out many of the issues used to strategically scale up battery production while keeping costs down.
Okay.
Or so they say. Let's just hope they solve the fire problem.
Well,
I didn't buy a Bolt, so I can talk about it.
Your car doesn't have a risk of catching fire, so you can drive parking in
Yeah, although not any more than normal, but
Yeah.
we did have a rash of regular recalls where regular engine cars were just bursting into flames for some reason.
Yeah,
different
everything's becoming a great ball of fire.
Well, speaking of great balls of fire, electric vehicles, this one will have an LFP battery in a new version. Will also be in the Silverado, the EV truck, this one, and the Bolt, the EUV. It's a GM battery exclusive. Because I think the other companies are building their own electric vehicles next year.
Yeah, because they're getting off of GM's electrical teat.
Have a couple of variants. One is about 492 miles. Gas Silverado goes for $40,000
Wow.
$40,000
That's a
to
deal.
$50,000 range. The
Yeah.
work truck starts at about 55. The electric.
On the other end of that, though, that would have been the worst price scaling for any vehicle. It goes from $4,000 to $50,000. What
What
are
do I
you
get with the
making that
$4,000
$4,000?
version? Well,
You get the seat covers.
it's not made of metal. The exterior is a balsa wood. I wouldn't get into a crash. It's not gonna save you. Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, keep your balsa wood out, but it keeps
So-
that price down.
Silverado EV work truck starts at 55, and the civilian version electric truck starts at 73,100.
Okay. I mean, you know, when you're looking at an EV truck,
Although, if you want the RTS first edition, it'll cost 96. That's a lot
yeah.
of monies.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. So that's definitely something to keep, to be aware of when you're in there, looking at the EV market.
Yeah, these new batteries are just to keep down costs and make batteries cheaper, because when they go, might as well just throw the car away.
Yeah, I mean, give it to your motorhead friend who wants to put a
real
LS swap
engine
in it or some shit. I don't know.
In it.
Who knows?
The article compares them to a 4-cylinder engine, so it's not like all the power, but just enough to get the vehicle moving, I guess.
I mean, but if you do have an engine that you've been really kind of tinkering around with and thinking about, and you get one of these and that battery goes, fuck it, man. Go for broke. Pop it in there.
And you should brace yourself. GM has confirmed they're discontinuing the Ultimum branding for this new LFP.
It sounds like a movement or some kind of government division.
There's something you'd catch.
Yeah.
Man, I got that LFP on my elbow again.
Oh,
Really?
God, get
Got
away.
bad last time. Your arm turned into a tentacle.
Yeah, not good. Not a good look. Not a good look.
They say each pack is about 75% cheaper. Slashing
So they're
costs is great,
Getting there.
unless it involves this next story. Speaking of cutting costs, GM recalls nearly 600,000 vehicles. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration probably just wants it safe. I mean, safety's in their name.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they want things safe.
They're recalling Cadillacs, Corvettes, and GM cars disconnect the connecting rod and or crankshaft engine components have defects which could cause engine damage, failure. Do not pass go.
It's expensive. especially when you're talking about the connecting rods.
Connecting
That's
rods or the
That's something that's at least 10 hours to get to.
or the
Flat rate time.
crankshaft.
Yeah, right around that crankshaft. That's like 10 hours. That's where all the engineers, all the other crap you wanted in your car, all that's in the way. So now they got to take all that shit out and then put everything back in there. I mean, that's why you go to a factory, though. Factory trained technicians.
Especially with a new car. Yeah, because they're still working out the bugs.
They know the vehicles. They see them all the time. They got one guy in the shop who's going to get really good at these recalls, and you'll be in and out in a week or so, hopefully.
Well, this could cause, if you don't get it done, it could cause serious trauma to the engine.
And trauma to your kids when, like, you're off to the side of the road, and they're like, did Dad forget me? No, I'm waiting for a tow.
You're like, I got a GM vehicle. Does it include me? Probably.
Yeah.
2021 to 2024 Cadillac Escalade. Not like there's a few of them in the road. Cadillac Escalade ESV, Chevy Silverado 1500, the Chevy Suburban.
Yeah.
2021. I could just say all the numbers in random order. Right, say them in the right order. 2021 to 24 Chevy Suburban, 21 to 24 Tahoe, 21 to 24 Sierra 1500, the Yukon XL. Just everything made within the last 4 years.
Just call your GM dealer. How about that? That's
You should also get a letter in the mail.
Yeah, that too. And check your mail.
Get your oil changed and your engine completely rebuilt.
Besides that, it's any other day.
That's a shame.
Any other day.
Let's go see what's happening in the world of Japan.
Oh, boy.
Akio Toyota says EVs are dirtier than you think.
Really?
Yeah. Like cars were not, when you look at the data, cars aren't most of the pollution. Most of the pollution is houses and India and China.
Yeah.
Generally more India and China than like, because they're building.
Yeah, but over 50% of the world's population is in like a circle between India, China, Japan, and Korea.
It's surprising the world doesn't like wobble back a bit. With all those, like, too many. Well, anyway.
In China, they actually made a dam that it slowed our speed 0.06 of a trillionth of a second or some shit like that. So they're working on it.
Toyota says they're holding ground and cautiously expanding the EV lineup with hybrids. They started with hybrids with the Prius.
They're so cautious, they're looking both ways.
Yeah, which at the time was just, it wasn't more fuel efficient. It was just different. In the first one.
Yeah.
So, but
now
I wouldn't call it the great fuel efficient car, especially compared to some of the stuff we have now.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially EVs really stepped up the fuel efficiency, especially because a lot of vehicles gain the benefits from the technology that you got from the EV systems. And just, especially with all the computer systems and sensors that are in vehicles now, it's hard to say, argue against that.
Toyota says, when the term carbon neutral became popular, we said the company's enemy is carbon. We had to focus on what we could do immediately to kill the enemy. Well, to reduce carbon. Kill. That's not very PR.
There's no better feeling than killing the enemy.
Yes, no carbon dioxide will get through here.
None. Dead carbon dioxide.
And generating electricity can be a bit of a complicated story. There's power loss and all sorts of other issues.
Yeah.
Original Prius debuted in 1997.
Yep.
Seems like only yesterday for some of us.
Yeah, I know, right? Jesus, I remember working on them, the first gens. They were a wacky ride.
Toyota says they have a multi-energy strategy, and they're not putting all their eggs in one hybrid basket. It's good to know.
Yeah.
I imagine they got to be working on that synthetic fuel and all that other stuff like Porsche and all of
Oh, yeah, synthetic fuel, hydrogen, hybrids between hydrogen, gas, and electric. there's a whole slew of hydrogen electric, hydrogen
There-
gasoline
yeah,
electric.
they
There's-
have hydrogen. They have plug-in hybrids, hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, battery EVs, combustion engines, and synthetic fuels.
Yeah, Toyota is one of the big companies, especially that you can be proud of. They were always in. I think they're still in the top 10, or at least the top 10. I think it was like the top 2 or 3 since the '90s boom. Toyota has always been right up there with Ford and GM in sales, just because that's all of Toyota.
You can't go anywhere without seeing a Toyota on the road.
Oh yeah, and
But-
they got on top by looking at technology and adding it into the cars, a lot like what they're doing.
And the quality, they're always on the reports of all that stuff.
Camrys, Corollas,
Toyota, Lexus, which is an expensive Toyota.
Oh yeah,
basically.
luxury export.
And under that is usually our next story. Buick. But not this one because they're discontinuing it.
Oh,
Just announced the all-new Super Architecture and the new Electra NEV sub-brand will be created for the next generation of Buick. So, they're introducing a more energy vehicle strategy.
okay, that's interesting.
They have a joint venture with a Chinese backer for a compact crossover.
I mean, there's not much that we news that we care about with Buick.
So you won't get you won't get the Encore Plus anymore. First launched in 2023 in China, and apparently nobody liked it.
No way,
So-
really.
They're gonna get rid of it and try something else. Maybe
Yeah.
a better body style.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe not that color. Or
listen
maybe
to the
that
fans.
color.
Listen to the fans. If they didn't like it, then And if you got one, pop it in your barn. Let that shit collect dust. It'll be worth something later on.
But hey, look. We got a pre-order in this next story. If you're looking for a car, just not this one. This is a Kia. Pre-orders start now. The PV5, it'll start at $44K in US dollars.
It kind of looks like they took the Nissan Cube and made it a van.
Yes, it can travel 249 miles on a single charge, which isn't horrible. Could be
No.
better, but not bad.
especially
Probably
with like
empty.
fast charging stations, and that'll probably do hell on your battery.
Not
but
in the
you can get
winter.
there if you really need to.
Not in the winter, you
No,
won't. You
no,
won't
not
be
in the
going
winter,
anywhere
no,
in the
no.
winter. You'll be watching it charge forever.
Yeah, you will. You'll be waiting for that son of a bitch for like hours and hours just to get down the road.
This PV5 marks a new platform beyond vehicles, PBV, electric van business.
I still think EVs have some kind of market as a secondary vehicle, not your primary vehicle, not in the Northeast. You
Yeah.
got a while before you
You need
sell me
somewhere
on an EV
for
in the
like
Northeast,
the
but-
cold months to like.
Mhm.
That's where it lives in the cold months.
Yeah.
And then I'll because it's never it takes forever to charge.
Yeah, you send one up to Alaska and you have an EV working up there,
Sue's never gonna have an
Then-
EV.
then you'll sell me on EVs. But up till then, you're going to need to think of something different when even their diesels are letting them down there, and they need block warmers and all this other kind of shit. That's what you got to think about when you're looking at vehicles, though.
Let's say you
I
live
mean, not a
someplace.
Kia, but I'm just saying EV. in
Let's
general.
say we don't know what we're talking about. You want one anyway, because we don't really. I just read the news. I don't create it. They have two battery options: 51.5 kilowatt hour or a 71.2 dyslexia much kilowatt hour battery, providing 179 miles or 249. Wow,
Once again-
179 ain't gonna take you far.
Once again, not the worst. Not the worst we've heard, but it definitely could strive for better when we've got into the 300s very easily.
Long range, 72.71. There, I did it again. 71.2 kilowatt battery variant is available with front wheel drive.
Yeah.
That's where the motor will be.
I mean, how much fun would it be with a rear-wheel drive, though? All 179
That
miles.
would be awesome.
Oh, man, that'd be great. That's how you spice that one up.
400-volt fast charge capability. PV5 can charge from 10% to 80% in 30 minutes unless it's cold.
Unless
At
that one little
150 kilowatt
stipulation.
charger.
One little stipulation. I was like, oh, see, there you go. But unless it's cold.
I added the cold part.
But yeah,
because
but it's true.
around here, when EVs got popular in the winter, you saw stories on the news about people. I've been here for 4 hours. It's still 4%.
Yeah.
I just went to the pump and
Filled it up, started right away.
that's why the
Drove
Germans
off.
are always telling us about we are not ready for this. We're
Mhm.
not.
Listen to the Germans. They're at least automotive wise, they're not that bad.
Sometimes know what they're doing.
Occasionally.
It's slightly smaller than the Volkswagen ID Buzz.
Okay. So we're still working around that small.
Yeah, standard features, touchscreen, Android S stuff.
Yeah.
7.5 driver display, wireless Apple, Android Auto, LED headlights, 2-spoke bi-amplifier leather seat steering wheel.
2-spoke. Bio-artificial leather. Bio-artificial.
If you
Bio,
want to
okay.
read all the words on the page.
Yeah, bio-artificial. Okay, because I was like, bio-artificial. What? How is it two different kinds of artificial leather?
Bio-artificial leather.
You got like fucking like T-Rex leather in there or some
Yes,
shit?
that would be awesome.
T-Rex leather steering wheel, man?
We've bred T-Rexes just to put them in your seats. Little T-Rexes in the back.
That sounds like such a Ford move. It sounds like such a Ford or Dodge move. Like,
Look,
nah, we
these-
added it in the
If it's
in the
Ford,
seat.
the T-Rexes will be bred here in America.
Oh, yeah,
skinned
yeah.
in America, and they'd also sell the meat, which they're huge.
That'd be part of their whole like we solved the food crisis. How?
Well,
With T-Rexes.
if you're looking to get one,
Giant chicken.
pre-orders in the UK started Thursday, May Day, 2025, starting at £32,995 or around 44K American.
All right. I mean, you
It
know,
will also launch in Europe and Korea this year.
not bad. For what you needed. If it, you know, a little grocery getter, I really wouldn't depend on this vehicle though. Not really.
But what I would depend on is if you're in the fancy thinking box, you just type the internet things.
We want you to hop on over here, facebook.com/Lugnutz podcast. That's where you're going to find all of our luggy and nutty polished content, a lot like our website, pjandwh.com. And that's where you're going to find all of our latest podcasts like Sex Ed and everything in between, Tales of the Hunted, and of course, this very program, the Lugnutz podcast. And, of course, it doesn't matter if you drive a GM or a Ford because nothing rolls without Lugnutz. We'll see you next week, gang. Until then, drive on. Until next time, we love you, we miss you, and we want to see you then. Drive on, Lugnutz. Bye-bye.
Drive on Lugnutz.
There's going to be another one, and we're going to be wearing the same clothes.
Over 500 is going to look a lot like the first day after laundry day,
This
huh?
is the $4.99 500 Spectacular
Yeah.
Part 1.
Yeah, part
Sure.
one, sure.
Called $4.99.
Yeah. So, you know, this will be $4.99 in the media network for all that's worth. But nothing left to do but to start the show. So, 'tis none other than us, gearheads, the Lugnutz podcast. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to try that again because I didn't even have myself queued up.
He can listen too. So, fresh back from our vacation in Tatooine.
Oh, man, it was way
A lot of
too
sunblock.
hot.
Lot
Way
of
too
sunblock.
hot.
A
Yeah.
lot of sunblock.
Well, you got to when you go to Tatooine. You can't go
Two
there
suns.
without it.
2 or 3 suns.
Yeah.
Whatever they got.
It's hot. Hotter than Qatar.
Yeah.
Way hotter than Qatar.
But not as fast.
You know who's faster? It's going to be them hitting that subscribe button. Then right above my head, that's going to be the very best Purge Hangers and Wall Hangers video for you. And then, of course, above Big Brother's head is going to be every single Lugnutz podcast in a convenient playlist. And until next time, gang, drive on.
Drive on Lugnutz.